Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about my favorite video game of all time, Xenoblade Chronicles. Specifically, comparing some of my favorite songs from the original Wii's renditions to the Switch's remastered ones. This game has been a huge part of my life since I was a young teenager. I started out watching Chuggaconroy's playthrough here on YouTube. I've played through the game several times on the Wii, the Switch, and even the new 3DS version. I've played Shulk and Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate competitively for many years, and I even have my own actual Monado. It goes without saying, this game is a huge part of my life, and it means a lot to me. Keep in mind, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to actual music terminology, so I'll do my best to describe why I do or don't like certain aspects of the music. It'll just be a very general, amateurish way of describing them. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's start this video off with a 2-for-1. Shulk's hometown, the first main area of the game, is bustling with busy homs just going about their day-to-day life. During the day, it's a quiet town, when Colonel Vanguard isn't around berating his troops, and I think the Wii's original composition complements that vibe really well. It's low-key enough to help you relax, but keeps an upbeat enough mood to make you want to take a walk around the different districts and chat with all the residents. The acoustic guitar really sells this hometown feel, and I don't think we hear an acoustic guitar this prominently throughout the rest of the game. Thankfully, it doesn't feel out of place at all. However, the Switch's new arranged version blows the original Wii version out of the water in just the first 10 seconds. That right there sold me on this version of the song. This was also the first newly arranged track that Nintendo teased on their Twitter after Definitive Edition was announced. I played that 30-second clip over and over. I couldn't get enough of it. I definitely don't think it fits the area of Colony 9 as well as the original version did, but I can't help it, man. This version is just so good. In terms of a rating, I would give the Wii's version of Colony 9 Day a 7 out of 10, and the Switch's version a 9 out of 10. The nighttime theme of Colony 9 is definitely my favorite out of the two. Both versions are extremely whimsical. They sound like memories of your childhood home, the cool nights spent with the windows open, watching the leaves fall when autumn comes around, or that little pond or creek you saw every day on your way home from school. They're both very beautiful and nostalgic, but I would have to give the edge to the original Wii version, and it really just comes down to what you hear at the 2-minute 46-second mark. While the Switch's remastered version has what sounds like a nice flute or some other wind instrument, I'm a sucker for acoustic guitars. And the same guitar that breathes so much life into the Switch's version of the day theme breathes the same life to the original's night theme. I'm giving the Wii's version of Colony 9 Night an 8 out of 10, and the Switch's version a 7 out of 10. Now, I hate to bring the mood down, but I have to talk about this song. I have not heard anyone talk about this song since the game's release, and I just need this to be heard. Words can hardly describe how much I love the original God-slaying sword, and how much I loathe the remastered version. I don't even think calling it remastered is a valid way to describe it. This is single-handedly the biggest demaster of any video game song in existence. Let me explain why. It all starts 5 seconds in when the vocals begin. This sounds like a group of neckbeards from Reddit got into the recording studio, uploaded their version of the vocals, and Ace Plus didn't bother to check the song before releasing the game. Then when someone finally listened to the song, they were like, that's good enough, I guess. Another thing, whenever the lyrics start being sung, there's these hard stops in between the words. they don't flow smoothly like the Wii's version does. But the worst part, the final nail in the coffin for this disgrace of a remaster, is where the climax kicks in. In the original Wii version, the choir is full of booming voices that send a chill down your spine. The sheer power that this song makes you feel as you finally defeat the embodiment of both the Mechonis and the Bionis, overpowering this all-powerful entity, is indescribable. And the Switch's version takes that feeling and completely smothers it to the point where I don't feel anything as this song is playing. It sounds like the number of vocalists were cut in half or more, then they were told to dial down the intensity as much as possible, as if being less intense would somehow make a final boss song more enjoyable to listen to. And another minor point about this part, it sounds like there's no male vocalists in the new version, or at least they're a lot less prominent. In the original version, they were just as prominent as the female vocalists, and I hope this comes across how I want it to. It just added so much more depth and intensity to the moment. You know, like that extra boom and bang that is, in my opinion, necessary for a final boss in any game. They stripped away everything that made the original song good. They could have left the original version untouched like they did with Unfinished Battle. It would have been perfect, and it's so unfortunate because this song comes hot off the heels of the well-remastered version of Zanza. But this version is irredeemable. I give the original Wii version of Godslaying Sword a 10 out of 10, and the Switch's version a 2 out of 10. It blows. Now let's get back to the good stuff. You Will Know Our Names is one of the most recognizable songs from the Xenoblade series, and for good reason. Nothing beats seeing an enemy that towers over your entire team, hearing that music, and absolutely destroying them as this song plays in the background. The original version on the Wii is fantastic. It's the quintessential boss music that never gets old. It's just mwah. And the Switch version took an already great song and made it just perfect. The trumpets throughout the whole song seem to be played at a lower pitch or note, creating a more dramatic tone compared to the Wii version in my opinion. It's immediately noticeable at the very beginning. And the electric guitar's prominence in this version of the song is cranked up to 11 here. It's like they took the intensity of the trumpets from the Wii version and gave it to the guitar. At the 1 minute 4 second mark, the guitar is so pronounced that it almost drowns out the accompanying instruments in the background. But you can tell they're still there, and I honestly think that helps make the song feel that much more epic. Not much more needs to be said here. It's a Xenoblade classic that was made even better, and I never get tired of listening to it. Even if I'm just on a walk or on a drive, this song feels so good to listen to. I give the original Wii version of You Will Know Our Names a 9 out of 10, and the Switch's version a 10 out of 10. Now this song, when you hear it for the first time, you have no idea what is about to hit you. Then you hear this song again and again. Every cutscene this song plays over is an absolute gut punch. Both the Wii's version and the Switch's version of the song are filled with dread, rage, regret, and power. The song makes you feel like you truly are there with these characters, witnessing firsthand the events that are transpiring. The original version begins with the musical interpretation of what it feels like when your heart drops into the pit of your stomach, because you know something terrible is about to happen. No matter, you need to fight, desperate to figure out a way to stop this enemy before it gets the upper hand. But then they do. They beat you down over and over and over, and then someone you love or needed to protect perishes. Then you're left with nothing. Nothing but the will to keep fighting. To give up now would mean everything you've done is in vain. You have to stop them. And it all wraps up nice and neat with the piano fading out, knowing you can't save everyone, but you didn't give up. and you've accomplished what you set out to do. Now you can tell that when Ace Plus sat down and started the remaster of the song, they understood the assignment. They did not mess around. Like with You Will Know Our Names, the instruments in the beginning have had much more weight and emphasis put on them, cranked up to 11 again, especially the electric guitar. No expense was spared in making sure this song truly felt like a remaster. Remember what I said about this song on the Wii making every cutscene feel like a gut punch? Well, the Switch's version makes you feel like you got punched in the gut, your ribs broken, and then thrown against the wall, only to fight back and come out stronger on the other end. It's a feeling that's almost indescribable, and it's all thanks to what we hear at the 2-minute mark. If you didn't get goosebumps listening to that part, I don't know what's wrong with you. The shrill shrieking of the vocalist here truly sells the fact that this is a moment of desperation for the characters in the story, and there's likely no way they're making out of it alive. That is, of course, until they do find a way, or a new revelation is made about their journey, and the true purpose of the story is realized, and you, the player, feel those same feelings that the characters do in that moment. This song is truly something else. I give the original Wii version of Engage the Enemy a 10 out of 10, and the Switch's version an 11 out of 10. I want to get sentimental here for a second. It's November 26, 2014, and Chugga Conroy releases episode 54 of his Let's Play of Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. The episode opens on the scene where Shulk wakes up after his fall from Galahad Fortress, and sees Fiora just a few feet away. He runs over, pulls her from her Mekon's wreckage, and they embrace. This scene, and the music that follows, are filled with so much emotion, and it's easy to understand why. But this scene is more significant to me for another reason. Just a few days later, after that video was uploaded, my grandmother, who had been a part of mine and my brother's entire lives up to that point, passed away. I know it sounds really silly to relate the death of a family member to a video game, but the time period of these two events and the distinct emotions I was feeling when both of them occurred are weirdly similar. Let me explain. We knew all along Shulk was going to find Fiora, reunite with her, and do everything in his power to make sure she remembered him and to take care of her with this new body and missing Monado, as she slowly grew weaker and weaker through the rest of the story, all with her friends and family by her side. With my grandmother, we knew she was going to pass. She had been through so many hospital visits, invasive medical treatments, and close calls, and she would regularly voice her frustration with all these events. She was ready to go. She even vented to us, her own grandkids, that she didn't want to suffer any longer. We all saw the end coming for her, but we did everything in our power to make sure she was safe and felt as comfortable as possible in her final days, surrounded by all her loved ones. And when I finally played Xenoblade Chronicles for the first time, I felt those feelings all over again, tenfold when this song kicked in. That sinking feeling of emptiness caused by the circumstances at hand, conflicting with the beautiful surrounding area and the bigger picture of the future to come, is the perfect way to describe how I felt during those few days listening to this version of the song. The Switch's remastered version is very good, but there's too much stuff going on in it, in my opinion. Too many instruments added to it, to the point where the song loses that feeling of emptiness that I think made the original song perfect for the area of the Fallen Arm. I give the Wii's version of Fallen Arm Day a 10 out of 10, and the Switch's version an 8 out of 10. Now this piece of music right here is what I've been wanting to talk about for so long. This right here is the reason why I wanted to make this video. Words can't describe how much I adore every note, every beat, every ounce of Valak Mountain's night theme. This is that one piece of music that has been with me through the best and worst days of my life. A song that can perfectly capture emotions that I could never describe with words. Only feel. Somehow this song manages to make me feel empty yet full, sad yet content, hopeless yet hopeful, distant yet oh so close to something. And that's what I love about it. It's an emotional roller coaster that took my mind places it had never been before listening to it. And that's what I love, not only about Xenoblade Chronicles soundtrack, but music as a whole. It can help you feel and process emotions better than any other entertainment medium out there. All you need is a speaker or headphones, and suddenly you're traveling to a whole other world. A world that, despite being based in fiction, feels real to you. And that is exactly what Valak Mountain Night does for me. It takes the world of Bionis and makes me feel a part of it. The original Wii rendition is my absolute favorite piece of music ever composed, and I do not think anything that has been created before or since will ever top it. I am so thankful to be blessed with this beautiful song. It's more than just a 10 out of 10, it's more than just a number to me. It's a part of me, and it's a part I will cherish for the rest of my life. When Definitive Edition was announced and we heard that all the songs were going to be remastered, I knew that it would be basically impossible to top the original version of this song in my eyes. However, I was pleasantly surprised with what we got. It wasn't groundbreaking, didn't surpass my expectations, but it was very well suited for a remaster of one of the greatest games of its generation. For me, it just doesn't pack that emotional, gripping punch that the original has. I give the Wii version of Valak Mountain Night a 100 out of 10, and the Switch's version an 8 out of 10. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a project that's been in the works for a long time. I just haven't given it the attention I wanted to because, you know, life gets in the way of most things we want to do. But I'm so happy to have this video completed and out for you all to watch. Please click the subscribe button below, give the video a thumbs up, and tell me what you think about my analyses. What are your favorite versions of Xenoblade 1 songs? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.